Awesome. We're here, number 4. Let me know if you can hear me. And Jonno, can you say something?
Hi, I'm here.
All right. Can you all hear Jonno? Let's just have a look in the chat in case I've stuffed up as I usually do. Let's see. What I'll do while we're waiting, hopefully people can hear us. So it's been a while. This is the number 4. It's been over a month since our last one, Jonno. How have you been doing in lockdown?
I've been all right, mate. I've been pretty good. It's pretty tough living within 5 kilometres. But I'll tell you what I've got here, Steve. This is what we do a lot when we're in lockdown. We drink a bit more. But I've got some top quality Scotch. This is black label off the shelf. And do you know why I've got this?
Could it be the Bets for Beers drink?
It is. We won so much money. Your multi that you won was it NBA? Yep. I think this is going to be a big party at the end of the year. So I've got to get used to this top shelf Scotch. I've never really had it before. So I've got to.
Well, we've got $5,500 in the bank. Ooh, harsh.
Yeah, harsh. I better just.
Are you going to top up?
So let's top it up. Yeah. There we go.
That's shocking.
How much have we got on the bank?
We got $5,500, which is great. We've got another 4 bets to go, and there will be one tonight, which I'll upload to Twitter after this, and then we'll have 3 more probably on NFL multis, and hopefully maybe $6-7 grand, but $5,500 is going to be one hell of a party. So, yep. Sure. All right. So the structure. Let's go over it. We know why you're here. You want your free money, and Topsport, $200. It's actual cash. Tristan, let me know that no more free bets. It's cash. If you want, it's sent to your bank account straight away. It will be, or it can be popped in your account, and you can take it out whenever you want. There's no turnover requirements or anything like that. And Topsport, of course, greatest Australian bookie, the pinnacle of Australia, and I see 5 to 10 years' time, Flutter's going to try to buy them because they're just the best Australian bookmaker, and I was not paid to say that. So let's give away...
Very easily They're easily the best. They take the most money. They've got the best odds.
Yeah, well, just yesterday, Tristan and I were emailing, and I said to him, look, do you want me to still bet these NFL bets because I won 20 grand off him last week? And he pretty much said in the email, bring it on. I'm so psyched for the NFL season. So what other bookie would say something like that and be happy to take your bets? So thank you, Tristan, and hopefully we take all of your money. So let's give away the first 100. Everyone online, we're going to... What do we got? 35 people watching. Pretty cool. There's a game live at the moment. So Fremantle versus Western Bulldogs. In the chat, we've got YouTube and Jonnos Sport Punter Facebook page. And it's the first one to get the last goal scorer correct. So I've popped up on screen a few of the players in case you don't know AFL. In the chat, in the live chat, just chuck in a player's name. If he's the last to score in tonight's game that's ongoing now, you'll win $100 cash. Okay?
Can I give Mike? So it's the first person to put the last goal scorer.
Yep, exactly. That's complicated.
I'll give a tip, and someone can copy it if they want. I reckon Western Bulldogs are going to scoot ahead by 34 points or something like that by the end, and then just take the foot off the barrel, and then Freo will get a couple of easy goals at the end in junk time. I know Fife is playing up forward. I reckon he's a chance to get the last goal. That's just my little tip.
Talking about Jonno bets, I think the last one we had, you told everyone to bet on a favourite dog. I think it was paying $2.10. What did that dog come?
I think it came about 7th out of 8 dogs, I think. Something like that.
So take Jonno's tip for whatever you will.
Yeah, well, I noticed there's been about 7 or 8 tips already. No one's picked five.
They're smart. They know. It was not a model pick. It was from you personally. So not great. Okay, so we'll leave that up on screen for a bit as I let you know what we're going to talk about tonight. First, I'll talk about my presidential bet. So I've bet a fair bit on the presidential race that ends in November. I'll talk about how much I've bet, the profit, because it's an ARB, and how I make sure I knew when the odds were going to move or had moved straight away. Someone had Nat 5, Dean C. All right.
Just guaranteed winner there. Yep.
So actually, before I go on to my sharing my screen with stuff, we're also going to be doing all the NFL bets. So last week, I put them up on Twitter, and it was 16.52 units profit, which is just incredible. Then I put the Thursday bet up as well, which was another 3 units profit for week 2. So we've already had the 1 bet on Thursday. There are another 5 bets. I'm going to put up the first one now. I would suggest going to Topsport and taking their $2 lines, but you can use any bookie you want. So the first bet, and these odds are from 6 o'clock. So Daily Profit members got all of these plays an hour and a half ago, so they would have moved the lines probably. But the first bet is 2 units on Baltimore Ravens, -7/-7.5. And that just means you've got 1 unit on -7 and 1 unit on -7.5. But these could have moved. So yeah, I'll leave that bet up for like 10 seconds while we have a drink, and then we'll move on to the next section. All right, let's go.
If they're anything like the first week, mate, it'd be fantastic.
Well, yeah, I don't think we could have got any better. We had a push actually, and 1 small loss, and yeah, I had a multi, but it was for our group of friends, which we can talk about another time. But that did quite well. Okay. Hopefully everyone's seen that bet now, placed it. There's 4 more bets to come. I'll do them between segments. But let's go to my screen here. So let me just show you my bets. So earlier, a couple of weeks ago, let's go back to it. My bets. All right, pending. A couple of weeks ago, September 3rd. So, yeah, TAB had been posting non-stop on Twitter about them taking huge bets on Trump to win. And the odds they were quoting that a $50,000 bet got taken was at like $1.80 Betfair had Trump at $2 at that stage. And of course, they were moving the prices. So Biden was going out on TAB, even though his odds on Betfair were like $1.83, $1.84. So what I did on Friday the 4th, I chucked in 10 grand. And normally TAB take $50 to $100 bet on me, for me. But I know when their prices are out of whack and they're pretty much advertising on Twitter that they will take a decent bet, especially on markets like this. So I thought I'll try with a decent stake. And I put 10 grand on at 205. They took that bet. I was hoping I could put more money in straight away, but TAB only have credit card deposits instantly. They don't have poly, so I would have to pay in. So 2-3 days later, I managed to get another 10 grand on, and then 3 days later, I got 20 grand on. So 40 grand across those three bets, average odds of maybe $1.98. Then it was a case of using a simple calculator to work out the ARB. And then I laid it, so you can see all the lay bets on Betfair here. And at the moment, this outcome will be if Biden wins. So I've weighted it towards Biden winning. If he wins, I'll make 2.5 grand. If Trump wins, at the moment, I'll be down 250, but I'll fix that up closer to the election to make it $0 or $2,400 profit. And yeah, so that money was, I had taken all the money out of the stock market because earlier last year, and I don't want to go back in. So it's just sitting earning very little interest. So if Biden wins, that's a 3.28% return over 2 months. And that's close to a 20% per annum return. So that's what I did. Hopefully Biden gets up, win 2.5 grand. And I wanted to say that one of the interesting things that touts or other tipsters do, you see it all the time, where at the end of the season, they go to the sports book and they get their $1 million check because they picked the actual winner of the season, say it's a baseball season or NFL. And these are, of course, all $6 or $20 or $50 wins, and they've put $10,000 on. But what they're really doing is betting everything in the market or backing on lane. They're seeing it as a marketing expense. So they might lose 5 grand on these bets. But then when they get presented that $1 million check, that drives so many customers back to them. So always be careful for that. This was just an ARB. And I thought it was an interesting one to share. So how I make sure I know when the odds on TAB were moving, because I knew they would move around a lot. So what I do, I just say I wanted to know when Biden's odds moved. I use a program called Distill. It's just a Chrome extension. It's free. So you load it up and you go select parts of page. And then you find the exact part of the page. So I want that number. And then you go save selection. Now, I can say check this every 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, once a day. And then you set up, all right, send me an email or an SMS or a Slack notification once the odds change. So that's how I made sure that I always knew when his prices were moving in or out. And yeah, I got an email. I saw the price had gone out to $1.95, hopped on, placed it, and I knew the Betfair price was well under it and worthy of the ARB. So, yep, that's how I do things there. The next thing I was going to talk about was, it was a huge milestone. I hit $500,000 profit from following tipsters. Now, this is a 10-year chart. Thank you, Jonno. I heard a golf clap. So this is my 10-year and a couple of month chart, and a few things. So the initial goal was to make $10K a year from betting, hence the name of the blog, which was daily25.com. So $25 a day is 10 grand a year. You can also see after 18 months, I went negative, and that was the only time I went negative. But at the start, I was following sport punter models, but I was also following random guys on forums, posting tips. And yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I got lucky that I was following sport punter and that was giving profits, but I was giving a lot back with all these other random ones. You can see after 5.5 years, I hit a peak of, I think it was about 498,000. So at that time, I was averaging 100K profit a year, but that whole time it felt like gambling. I was following about 10 tipsters, and it turns out 9 of them weren't winning tipsters in the end. And every morning when I woke up, I would have no idea if I had won 20 to 50,000 or lost 20 to 50,000. The swings were that big. And I remember that peak. I was in the UK at the Rugby World Cup, and everything I bet on, I was on a flight, it landed, I checked the results, and I was up like 30 grand for that 12-hour flight. And then everything just kept winning. Then I got home from that trip, and for the next year, everything lost. You can see that 300k drawdown over the next year. And that meant I took some time. I looked over I had been recording every bet. So I looked over every single tipster that I was following. And of course, what I saw was that 9 of them were losing. 1 of them, which was Sport Punter, was winning me all the money. And I always talk about the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. And I found it here. But this was so Jonno was 1 in 10 tipsters. So he was the 10%, making me 150% of the profit. So, of course, dropped the other 9. And as you can see, it's been a march back up to 500k now over the last, I think, 3 years. So, Jonno, thank you very much for that. It no longer feels like gambling because I'm so confident in the models. I know all I have to do is get the best odds and the results will take care of themselves. So, thank you. That's virtually, that's the best we can do.
A virtual cheers.
Thank you. Ching, ching.
Ching, ching. No worries.
Oh.
Nah, that's something really good. I was wondering if you've registered daily 137.com.
Is that what it works out to? Oh, yeah, that's
137.
That is on my side.
Yeah, so that's amazing effort, mate. It's just something you should be really proud of, and you're an inspiration to many people. Yeah,
I'm surprised, but I've just stuck at it. I got lucky finding a profitable tipster, which is very rare. So congratulations to you for being in this business for 20 years now, or almost, and just consistently making profit. So thank you.
Thank you. And I love it. I also love it when you got to there, how you made yourself accountable. You started a blog, you put it out there. It's like if you want to lose weight, if you start telling everybody you want to lose weight, then you're almost expected that you have to. And by starting a blog, by saying exactly what you're betting, how much you're making, you're putting pressure on yourself to get there. And so that helped you in the long term.
Well, a quick update on the weight loss. As I had a bet, 2 people took me up on it. I've paid out early. I'm 104 now, but I've been in the gym 3 times a week for the last month, and I'm keen to get that routine down pat and then build some muscle, and then I'll start losing the weight. So let's move on to NFL bet number 2. This is the biggest one of the week, and it's on the Vikings. So 4.75 units, +3 / +3.5, and they're playing Indianapolis Colts. So yeah, I'll leave this one up as I say what we're going to talk about next. Next, it's all Jonno. I've been hogging the chat for the last 10, 15 minutes. So after you guys have placed this bet, we're going to go to Pub Talk. Jonno's going to talk about the NBA multis. After all the bets for beers NBA multis were winning, I asked him to look into the data, and he's found some interesting things there. And on our last chat, we actually talked about the AFL coaches and what happens when they sack a coach. And the NRL has sacked 2 coaches in the last month since we last talked. So Jonno is going to talk about that. All right, let's go to Pub Talk, and I'm going to have to fix your screen, I'm sure. Yep,
are we doing the multis or the coaches?
What do you want to do?
Let's all start with the multis, why not? But before we start, Whirlpool Reid and Raymond Lau, you picked the winner, Nick Nat Fife, and maybe not the winner, Bontempelli, after someone else's pick. What am I picking?
Yeah, change your pick. I'll allow a change of pick, and there's still a whole quarter to go.
Yeah. Who's winning?
Bulldogs are up by 14.
14 points. 14 points. All right, here we go. So, is my screen on?
Let me get to your shared screen. All right, I see probs. I see your mouse moving.
All right. So what we've got here is the basic mathematics of how a multi works. Okay. So just imagine you're betting on a line bet. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 4 different line bets that you hear, and you're going to multi them up. And just imagine that you're completely guessing on which line to go on. So you have a 50% chance to win it or not. Now the odds are typically $1.90. Okay. So for each bet that you make, you've got a 5% disadvantage here. Okay, just the bookie overround that they have. Now, if you multi them all up, you basically times all those together, and you're a 6.3% chance to win that multi. If you times all the odds together, you're 13. It comes out to $13, and the overlay there is 18%. And this is why bookmakers love people who multi up, because normally they'd only have a 5% advantage. Now they have an 18% advantage. That's almost 4 times as much. Okay, so they love it. They love it when people multi. But, of course, if you have the advantage in the bet, then you also have the advantage in the multi. So suppose you knew 100% sure that each of these were 55% and you had a 4.5% overlay. So, for example, maybe you might have 4.5% overlay over the long term. You're now a 9% chance to win it, same odds. And you're 19% chance to win. You've got a 19% edge,
which is just massive,
in winning the multi. That's huge. It's huge. You've only got a 4% edge on the other things like that. And a lot of the sports that I bring up have 4% edge. I think NBA's got like even more.
It's like 9 point something.
Like that.
Yeah.
We'll get onto that later. So what I don't recommend you do is not to just not bet the individual bets and just the multis, not at all. Because with at $13, you're not going to get much on. Okay. You also need turnover to actually increase the amount of profit you're going to make. But a lot of bookmakers these days, when you put in your bets you're making, you're betting on team A, C, D, and F, they say, oh, would you like to multi these up at the same time? You go, yes. Okay? If you're sure you've got the advantage originally, like you have in this example, you go, yes. If you're just having a drunk night with friends, maybe you go, no, unless you're having it for fun or something like that. I don't know. Okay? So that's how bookmakers love it, multis, and how we can use it to our advantage. And a classic example for this is in NBA, and I'll go on to this next screen here. This is NBA winning multis from 2 or more legs. So if you've got 2...
So this is the sport punter model.
When you've got...
Yep.
That is a sport punter model per day. So sometimes you might have 5 overlays, sometimes you might have 2. And this is per year. We're betting 1 unit bets, so 72, 115, 129 unit bets, 77. We win around about 21% of the time, and the profit, look at this, 43.3% profit. Now, you notice also that this last year, 99-20, is lower numbers than the other 2. That's because I did this analysis probably about a month ago or something like that, a month and a half. This was, and then I gave that to Steve, and Steve's gone, oh yeah, we should bet Boldies. And then I think the next day we won the big 4
I think we've won 2
right,
since then, and a heap of 2-leg ones as well. So that profit would be near 30, 40 units.
Yep. So this is a model that makes around, I don't know, was it 5 to 10%?
I think it's
something like that?
9.2% at the moment. Over thousands of
9.2. Yeah, and it's making 43% here. Keep in mind there's a few things. One, it's a small sample size. So you can see here, even the amount of profits per year, even though that last one will be higher now, there is a bit of variation from year to year because you're betting on something that only wins 1 in every 5 times, at 21%. And the other thing is these odds are based on Pinnacle odds, which is $1.95. So you can probably reduce the pot by, I don't know, 5 to 10%.
Just
something like
one
that.
thing
So
that I have been doing with Neds, and I think Sportsbet and a few other books have the thing, they have the multi-boost. So you get one of those per day. So it actually brings the odds from $1.90 up to about $1.93.
Yep. So Jack Daniel said 2 bets right on the key number. So yeah. So if I produce like if there's 8 matches of NBA matches, and I suggest 3 bets that day, then that's the multi of 3. So that's how those that stats there would work. So incredible result. So multi up if you can. Once you've put your bets in, it says add this to a multi.
All right.
Yes.
So before we get on to NRL, let's give the next NFL bet. So let's go back here. All right, everyone at Topsport, I think we are Okay, so 2.3 units minus 5.5. Buffalo Bills over the Miami Dolphins. And I'll leave that up for 5 seconds. Write these down probably. Let's just have a check of the AFL while we're waiting. And the last goal scorer at the moment are still the third quarter. So if someone had B. Smith, they would be winning. Whoever that is.
Nat Fife is just warming up, mate. He's just nesting himself in the goal square, just ready to go.
All right. Let's get on to back to your screen. Okay, now if you want to talk about the NRL and coaches being sacked.
All right. So here it is. So we talked about in AFL last week how the week after a coach gets sacked, the team performed generally a lot better. Well, sometimes, all right? And we said that the reasons why, maybe the team feel like they've let the coach down, so they pump themselves up. Maybe there was a bad vibe because of the coach, and it's a lot better now. Someone else is coming in, a fresh start, good as a holiday, whatever else like that. And I think we said, I can't remember the exact stats, but it was very significantly good, wasn't it, Steve? Was that right?
Very profitable. But was that, I'm not sure if it was head-to-head or line, or I think it was both.
It was both. It was very profitable, but it was also a small sample size because, I mean, what do you get, like 1 or 2 sacked coaches a year or whatever else like that? So anyway, so here we are in NRL. So what we've got here is the weeks after the coach is sacked. So this is the first week, and that's the key one, I think. The key one is the first week after. And you can see here we've got 19 cases. This is since the year 2010 or year 2000, I think it is. And a 10% profit, betting on a head-to-head. Simple. Now, after that, I mean, second week after, third, fourth, fifth, I mean, there's ups and downs, whatever. But it probably doesn't really matter. I only put these in just in case they were all profitable or they're all really negative. Then you could show some sort of trend. For me, there's no trend there. But just like the AFL, there is a profit there in the first week, and that should be used and perhaps even looked at. What's interesting here is with the line betting is there's no profit, okay? No profit for the line betting. And I understand how this works. Because in AFL, it's very skill-based compared to NRL. And I'm not pushing NRL at all. NRL is a lot more. There's a lot more about endeavour and how much will you need, and I think that's why you get more upsets in NRL because it's a lot more. It's probably a lot more mental state, mental ability as well than AFL. So I think in NRL, when a coach has been sacked, you're either going to get teams that go, oh, well, we're stuffed, or teams that bounce back. And I think we saw that with the 2 sacked coaches.
So we had McGregor get sacked for St George Illawarra, and I think it was Seabold with Brisbane.
Yep. Yeah, so St George.
But here's the question with that one.
The week after.
McGregor had been sacked, but he was still the coach on that game.
No, so they gave him a what is it called? A swan song, so even probably more advantage, I think. Anyway, so here was an odds of $4.27. That's what I had it at, $4.27. So that was a big win. And in Brisbane, they lost 58-12 against probably one of the best teams. I think it was the Roosters. They were at odds of $10. So if you bet the line on each of those 2, you would come out slightly behind because you won one and lost one. But if you'd bet the head-to-head, you would have picked $4.27 and won that and bet at $10 and probably.
But you're betting to win a certain amount.
And that's what those stats are. These are betting to win. I think it is $1,000 or something like that. So once again, it's a small sample size. But look, there is a trend here, as you can see. Like I don't think there's much value in the line in these cases, but definitely is in the head-to-head. And I think you do get more upsets in NRL. Maybe that's another pub talk question. Yeah. Do you get more upsets?
Fantastic. Yeah, all right, Richard had a question going back to the NBA multis, and he asked, would you Yankee the multis when you've got many legs? And so a Yankee is pretty much, say you got 5 legs, and it's betting 2 teams, it's betting every combination sort of thing. So a 2-leg multi, a couple of different 2-leg multis, and a 3-leg, a couple of those. So would you do that as well? I would assume that if the 6-leg multi in that case is profitable, all the smaller ones in that same thing would be profitable too.
Yeah, they definitely would be. It's 100%. That's correct. Obviously, you got to work out
Exactly,
how much you're putting on it. I mean, like you don't, like you can actually start spending a lot of money doing that. It's like if you go to the races and get a box trifecta on 10 horses. Like, I mean, you're gonna spend a lot to get. Yeah. It's popping. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's show bet number 4 in the NFL. So there's bet this one and one more to go. So it's 2.75 units plus 3.5 New England Patriots over Seattle Seahawks. So let's leave that up there. And what we've got coming up is there's another Topsport $100 free cash offer, and I will pop that up in a second. So we'll give this a bit of time. Okay. I reckon people have probably had their chance to get on. Okay. So what we're going to do, again, in the live chat, the game is going to be... Let me just go to my screen share. So we want the first touchdown scorer in the New England-Seattle game. So on the screen, I've put up whatever Topsport has there. So, of course, if whoever puts Chris Carson first probably has the best chance with odds of $7.50. So, yeah, exactly. But there's a list. So I'll leave that up for a little bit. And, so the first person, that's the 10-20 game. So we can all be up watching that one. And that's one of the reasons I love the NFL is most of the games are on at 3 a.m. So I don't watch them, which is fantastic. I just have to wake up and I've got that anticipation every Monday morning of loading up live scores, checking if they won. And then it's just that one feeling of either, yep, it was a great week or it was a bad week. So there we're getting, yeah. But the thing, okay, what we're seeing is only the YouTube comments. There will also be comments on Facebook. And I will look at the exact second that they go up. So just because you seem to have won on YouTube, you might not have won. But I'll contact all the winners afterwards. Actually, it's probably best to, and I can't believe I'm going to sound like a YouTuber, subscribe to the channel and like this video so I can track you down if you do win and get that money into your bank account. Okay.
Does that mean if the opposition don't get a touch, no one gets a touchdown, then he wins, does he? Is that right?
Yep. I think that is an option that, you can have, and there's, but if that happens, great. But there is that option.
Someone said you can't hear me anymore, Steve.
Oh, let's see. Say something.
Something.
Yeah, no, I think you should be working. Can you hear Jono? Other people, not just Richard. And I'm going to put the final NFL bet up anyway while we're seeing if Jono can be heard. And that's 2 units minus 7.5 Tennessee Titans over Jacksonville Jaguars. Jono, you've turned into a giant on my screen. Hold on. Trying to move you around. All right, you're back. People haven't said if they can hear you, but can hear you. Perfect.
Thank you, Adrian.
Okay. So those are all the bets. What I'll do is quickly go through all of them again, just really, really quickly. So let's go back to the start. So 2 units, Baltimore Ravens, minus 7/7.5. 4.75 units, plus 3/plus 3.5, Minnesota. 2.3 units, minus 5.5, Buffalo. 2.75 units, plus 3.5, New England. And the final bet was 2 units, minus 7.5, Tennessee Titans. So hopefully we do as good as last week, and we've just hit 30 minutes. Hopefully you can all make some profit, and with that profit, actually join Daily Profit and get these well before everyone else, and you'll get better lines, better odds, and make more profit. So I think that's it. Jono, did you have anything else to say?
Should we multi all those NFL bets up, Steve?
Well, I've done a multi for my friends group, and there is a Bets for Beers multi, which I'll post online as well. But I've actually gone the totals, which is strange. We don't suggest betting the totals until week 5, but I've multied up some totals because there were some big bets. And they were profitable last week if members had followed them.
All right, cool.
All right, well, cheers, everyone. Cheers, Jono, to the 500K. And we'll see you when we decide to do this again. Catch us later. Good luck, guys.
One thing I would love to talk about next time, by
yep.
the way. We're talking about a lot of multis. I'd love to chat about in-play multis next time. It's the biggest thing in bookmakers. That's something we can chat about.
Well, maybe we can talk about same-game multis as well. I've been seeing a lot of that.
That's what I meant. I meant same-game multis.
All right, that'll be interesting to look into. All right, excellent. See you, Jono. See you, everyone else.
See you, guys.